Jared walked slowly through the busy corridors of the trade station, his eyes darting from stall to stall. It was one of the largest stations in the galaxy, hovering above the neutral planet of Zalora. Aliens of all shapes and sizes bustled around him, speaking in 100 different languages. For Jared, a human, it was overwhelming, but exciting. Humans were rare here. Often aliens looked at him with curiosity. Some admired humans for their clever inventions. Others simply ignored them. Jared didn't mind. He had always loved exploring new worlds and meeting different beings. Today he had come to see if he could sell a few of his Earth gadgets, small devices that often amazed aliens. As he wandered through a marketplace floating in zero gravity, he noticed a crowd gathering near one of the stalls. Pushing his way through, he caught sight of her. Liara. She was unlike any being he had ever seen. Her skin shimmered slightly, reflecting the light in soft blues and purples. Her eyes were large, intelligent, and filled with curiosity. She moved with grace, yet there was a strength in her posture that commanded attention. Alien stepped aside to give her space. She paused at a stall displaying rare crystals, her fingers tracing the shapes with delicate precision. Jared's heart skipped a beat. He had never felt this way before. Without thinking, he muttered under his breath, "I wish she was my wife." The words hung in the air for only a moment. Then a voice, smooth and amused, said, "I heard that, human." Jared froze. His eyes widened. He turned slowly and saw Liara standing behind him, a playful smirk on her face. I didn't, he stammered, feeling heat rush to his face. Liara raised an eyebrow. "Don't worry. I hear things people say about me all the time. Most are polite, some are less polite. Yours was interesting." Jared swallowed hard. His mind raced, trying to figure out what to say next. Nothing came out. He had never met someone so confident, so direct, and yet so intriguing. "Jared, right?" she asked, tilting her head slightly. "I heard you're new here. What brings a human to a place like this?" "Yes, I sell gadgets. Human gadgets. Things aliens might find useful," he said, finally finding his voice. Liara's eyes sparkled with curiosity. "Gadgets, huh? Let me see what you have. I like clever humans." As they walked toward his small stall, Jared realized he couldn't stop looking at her. He had to remind himself to breathe. He set up his devices quickly, showing her small items that could do surprising things. A holographic translator, a self-cleaning tool, and a device that could detect weak energy sources. Liara examined them carefully, occasionally raising an eyebrow or nodding. "Interesting," she said. "Humans are creative." Before Jared could respond, the station's alarm system flashed red. A loud, repetitive siren filled the air. "What now?" Liara asked, her tone calm but firm. A hovering cargo drone had gone out of control. It was carrying volatile energy cells, and if it crashed, it could damage several stalls and injure innocent beings. Aliens began to panic, shouting in alarm. Jared glanced at the drone. It hovered dangerously close to a crowded walkway. He realized no one knew how to stop it. Liara's eyes met his. "Human, can you help?" Jared felt a surge of adrenaline. This was it. He had to act. He ran to a nearby control panel, scanning the readouts. The drone's AI seemed confused by its own programming. Humans often thought differently than aliens, and maybe this could be an advantage. "Step back," he said to Liara. "I think I can reroute its course using its own energy cells." Liara nodded, moving aside but staying close. Her confidence in him gave him courage. He quickly connected a device he had designed for precisely this kind of situation. It wasn't meant for drones, but it could manipulate small energy flows. The drone veered suddenly, spinning dangerously. Sparks flew. Jared adjusted his device, thinking fast. Around him, aliens gasped and ducked for cover. Liara's voice broke through the chaos. "Careful, human, I am," he shouted, fingers flying over the controls. With a final adjustment, the drone slowed and hovered safely near the docking bay. The energy cells stabilized. A cheer went up from the crowd, though Jared barely noticed. He was too busy catching his breath. Liara stepped forward, examining the drone. She nodded in approval. "Well done. Clever thinking. Humans really are. Remarkable." Jared could hardly believe it. Liara's praise meant more than he could say. His heart pounded in his chest, both from the excitement of saving the station and from standing near her. "You weren't just lucky," Liara said, a teasing smile playing on her lips. "You actually understood the problem and solved it." That is rare here. Jared scratched the back of his neck, feeling both embarrassed and proud. I just tried to think fast, he admitted. That you did, she said. And it worked. Not many would have had your perspective. For the next few moments, they stood side by side, watching the crowd settle down. Some aliens were whispering, others simply staring. Jared felt a mixture of pride and relief. He had not only saved the station from a potential disaster, but had also earned the attention of the most fascinating alien he had ever met. Liara finally turned to him, her smile gentle now. So, about that wish of yours, she said, tilting her head. Do you really mean it? Jared froze. He had not expected her to bring it up again. His mind raced. He could say nothing, make a joke, or tell the truth. I think, maybe, he stammered, finally admitting. I think you are amazing. Not just beautiful, but clever, brave, everything. Liara laughed softly, a sound that was both musical and comforting. You humans are funny. Bold when you have to be. Awkward when you try to be clever. I like that. Jared's face turned red. He opened his mouth to respond, but the station's alert system flashed again. Another small emergency was brewing. An unstable energy core in the lower level of the station. Liara sighed, but her eyes glinted with amusement. Looks like your proving skills aren't done yet, human. If you're as clever as you say, maybe you can help again. Jared squared his shoulders, feeling a strange mixture of fear and excitement. He had never thought a simple muttered wish could lead to this. Standing beside an incredible alien, saving lives and being tested in ways he had never imagined. As he followed Liara toward the lower level, he realized that he wanted to impress her not for a wish or a word, but because he truly admired her. And for the first time he felt that humans, though small and fragile compared to some alien species, could shine in ways that no one expected. Together, they descended into the heart of the station, ready to face whatever challenge came next. Jared's mind raced with ideas, plans, and possibilities. But one thing was certain. This encounter, this strange twist of fate, had changed everything. And somewhere deep down, he knew that this was only the beginning. Jared followed Liara down the narrow corridors of the station, his heart still racing from the earlier excitement. The hum of alien machinery filled the air, and flickering lights reflected off the polished metal walls. He had barely caught his breath when Liara stopped suddenly, her hand on a control panel. Here, she said, pointing to a small screen. An unstable energy core has been detected in the lower deck. If it explodes, it could damage several modules. We need to stabilize it before anyone gets hurt. Jared studied the readouts. The core's energy oscillations were irregular, unpredictable. Alien technicians had tried to stabilize it, but none could understand its unique pattern. Humans often thought differently, and Jared hoped that might be their advantage. Let me try something, he said, stepping closer. We may need to reroute the energy through a temporary conduit. I have a device that could do it. Liara looked at him with raised eyebrows. You're still thinking fast after everything else? Impressive, but careful, human. One mistake and it could get dangerous. Jared nodded, taking a deep breath. He activated his device and linked it to the core's monitoring system. Tiny lights blinked across the console as he analyzed the energy flow. He realized the solution required not brute strength but careful adjustment and intuition. A human touch. Liara, I'll need you to adjust the stabilizers in sequence with me. Timing is critical, he said. She nodded, moving to the controls with fluid grace. Together, they worked as a team, coordinating movements and keeping an eye on the fluctuating energy. Sweat formed on Jared's brow as he calculated each step. Almost there, he muttered under his breath. The core pulsed violently, sending sparks flying across the floor. Liara's eyes widened, but she stayed focused. Human, hurry, she urged. Jared adjusted the device again, sending a pulse of stabilizing energy through the core. Slowly, the readings began to normalize. The hum of the core softened and the lights on the console turned steady. They had done it. Liara exhaled sharply, a smile spreading across her face. Well done, human. You've exceeded my expectations. Again. Jared felt a surge of pride and relief. For the first time, he realized that his cleverness and quick thinking were not just useful, they were admired. Not only by aliens, but by Liara herself. You really are remarkable, she said softly. Most would panic. Most would fail. But you adapt. You think differently. Jared's face flushed. I just tried to do what made sense. I guess humans do think differently sometimes. Liara stepped closer, her eyes studying him with curiosity. Different is good. It can be very powerful, especially when paired with courage. Jared's heart skipped a beat. He had admired her from the moment he saw her, but now he felt something stronger. A connection, a mutual respect. He wanted to tell her more, to explain his feelings, but the words stayed trapped in his throat. Just then, an alert sounded across the station. Another energy fluctuation, this time from the docking bay. It was minor, but still dangerous. Liara sighed, a playful glint in her eyes. Human, are you ready for round 3? Or are you going to let me handle this one? Jared grinned despite his nervousness. I think we make a good team. Let's do it together. As they rushed to the docking bay, Jared noticed how effortlessly Liara moved. She was strong, confident, and intelligent, but she also had a sense of humor that made the tension easier to bear. Once there, they found a small energy conduit sparking dangerously. Docking bay workers were retreating, unsure how to stop it. Jared quickly assessed the situation. Liara, I need you to hold the secondary stabilizer while I reroute the energy here, he said. She nodded without hesitation. Do it, human. Jared carefully connected his device to the conduit. He concentrated, sending pulses of stabilizing energy. Sparks flew, but slowly the system began to settle. The hum turned steady and the danger passed. Liara let out a laugh, a sound that made Jared smile. You know, she said, brushing a strand of shimmering hair behind her ear. Humans might just be my favorite species. Clever, brave, and slightly unpredictable. Jared laughed nervously. I'll take that as a compliment. She leaned closer. It is a compliment. And human, I've been thinking about your wish. Jared froze, remembering the words he had spoken in the market. I wish she was my wife. Liara's gaze softened. Do you really mean it? Or was it just a thought? Jared hesitated. Then, looking into her eyes, he spoke honestly. I meant it. I admire you. Not just for how amazing you are, but for your courage, your intelligence, your everything. I don't expect anything, but yes. I wish that. Liara smiled, a warm, gentle expression that made Jared's heart race. Bold words, human, brave words. I like that about you. For a moment, the bustling station, the alarms, the crowds, they all disappeared. It was just the two of them, standing amidst the hum of alien machinery, connected by mutual respect and a spark of something more. But the station never stayed quiet for long. A final alert sounded, this time a simple warning that a nearby supply shuttle had lost communication. Nothing dangerous yet. Liara glanced at Jared, a teasing smile on her face. See, adventure never stops here. You humans keep life interesting. Jared laughed, feeling more confident than ever. I guess I'm ready for it. With you by my side, I think I can handle anything. Liara studied him, her expression thoughtful. Humans are unpredictable, yes. But maybe that's why I like you. You surprise me. And sometimes, surprises are exactly what we need. As they walked back through the station side by side, Jared felt a sense of belonging he had never known. Humans might be small, fragile compared to some alien species, but they had something unique. Creativity, courage, and the ability to adapt. Traits that could turn impossible situations into opportunities. Traits that had just saved lives and earned the admiration of an incredible alien. By the time they returned to the marketplace, the sun of the nearby planet shone through the station's transparent walls, casting golden light across the stalls. Aliens continued their trade, oblivious to the small human-alien bond forming among them. Liara stopped and looked at him. So, about that wish, maybe it's not just a wish after all. Jared felt his stomach tighten, excitement and nervousness mixing together. You mean? Liara's eyes twinkled. We'll see, human, for now. Let's just say you've made a very good impression. Jared smiled, his chest swelling with pride and hope. He didn't know what the future held, what adventures, challenges, or surprises awaited, but he knew one thing. Humans had a place here. And maybe, just maybe, he had a place beside Liara as well. Together they walked through the station, ready to face whatever came next. And for the first time, Jared believed that sometimes wishes could come true, if only you were brave enough to make them real.